This tutorial is focused entirely on Warrior 2. I will walk you through slowly some tips and hints on the right side of the body, and then I will walk you through the left. So I invite you to join me if you feel comfortable, and we'll get started. All right, Warrior 2. The right foot we'll start with, we'll step to the right. Right toes face the short edge of the mat, and the left toes ideally should be about 45 degrees. And the distance your feet are is entirely dependent on how long your legs are and how it feels to you. For me, I'll probably end up spreading out a little bit, but I'm here to start to show you some things. All right, a lot of people when they come into Warrior 2 will raise the arms, they'll take a nice deep lunge, and they face the right with their upper body. And let me show you things that you want to be mindful of, especially when you're dealing with pelvic floor concerns. The first thing is if you lunge too far with that right leg, you'll see the knee comes past the ankles over to the toes, and it creates some extra tension in the knee. To correct for this, you back off slightly, and you can take a bigger step, and that'll help. The other problem is a lot of people will kick this left hip toward the left to help extend their reach. When you do this, the curve is no longer in a natural position, and that means that your pelvis is no longer in neutral. So to correct for this, I would cue you to bring the left hip back. So the left hip comes back, right hip comes forward, and the hips are actually in line with the long edge of the mat. Now, the left toe should be in line with the left feet, so the left foot's 45 degrees. I will be very honest, a lot of times I look back at my videos and that left foot's at 90. Not ideal, something I'm working on, nobody's perfect. But ideally, to help protect that knee, the left foot should be 45 degrees, not 90. All right, now if you have knee concerns, I would cue you in my classes to step the right foot forward, left foot back, check in with the hips. Make sure they're in line with the long edge of your yoga mat. And with your knee issues, you would push your feet down into the floor and away from you to help engage all these muscles in the pelvic floor. And you would stay here, arms extended, either looking forward or to the right. Nice straight spine. If the knees don't bother you, then you can come into your lunge, making sure the knee doesn't collapse in on that right side, but it's constantly pulling to the right. The left hip is constantly pulling back and extending far past the core of your body might cause problems because your hips, again, are no longer in neutral. So I tell my students in class it's a good idea to keep the spine nice and straight up and down. So this will help adjust the hips rather than extending out. All right, let's switch to the other side and we'll do a quicker startup. All right, the left foot steps out to the left. The left toes face the short edge of the mat. The heels are in line. The right foot's at 45 degrees. Check in with the hips. Make sure they're in line with the long edge of the mat, nice and parallel to the floor. If you're lunging, check in with the lunge. Make sure the knee doesn't collapse inward, but it's constantly pulling back, and the knee does not extend past the ankle. If your knees are bothering you, keep the body upright and just check in with those hips. Push the feet into the ground. All right, let's get into this together. We'll have a nice inhale. Exhale, keep the length in the spine nice and tall as you come into your lunge. Arms come up and the body's nice and tall. And this is how I recommend Warrior 2, especially for the pelvic floor. I hope you check out the website, yogabelowthebelt.com, find full-length videos and more information, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time. Bye.